You never forget the first time your carry gun betrays you. I've stood in parking lots with sweat-soaked hands, thinking I picked the safest bet, only to realize too late that the gun on my belt was the worst call I ever made. I've been burned by hype, trusted big brands, and figured I knew better than the next guy. But the truth is, nobody's immune. Doesn't matter how many forums you scroll or shop counters you lean on. Some of the pistols that let me down are the same ones experts rave about. And when it matters most, cold night, bad neighborhood, one stupid mistake, they're the first to show their flaws. This isn't about trashing brands for clicks. It's a warning. If you think your safe choice can't end up on this list, you haven't been carrying long enough. Stick with me till the end, because the last gun on here is the one that cost me the most. I tried to make the HK-USP work for concealed carry once. Worst mistake I ever dragged onto a range. It was August 2025. Texas heat pressing down, everyone running fast draw drills from cover garments. I thought the old school tank would prove all the haters wrong. Figured all that weight and steel meant reliability. All it meant was misery. First run, my shirt snagged on the thick grip. Tried to clear leather, but the gun felt like it weighed as much as a brick. The slide dragged on my side. Printing is so bad, even the rookie next to me shot a look. Hit the timer, missed the draw by a mile. By the time I got the USP out, the target might as well have left the range. Every run, it got worse. The gun dug into my ribs, heavy as an anchor, sweat pooling under the holster. By the end of the day, I wanted to throw it back in the case and pretend the whole mess never happened. HK loyalists can talk battle-proven all day. In the real world, you'll lose more time fighting your own gear than any threat. And if you think this one was bad, the next pistol stung even deeper. Last spring, I walked into the gun club with the Shadow 2 on my hip. Could feel the weight pulling at my belt the whole way from the parking lot. Inside, the place was buzzing, voices bouncing off concrete walls, brass rolling underfoot. A couple of competition guys caught sight of the CZ and gave the usual nod, calling it the real shooter's pick. I let that boost my ego, feeling like I'd finally outclassed the plastic crowd. Didn't take long before the mood shifted. In the middle of swapping mags at a folding table, an old-school CCW constructor leaned over, glanced down, and just asked, soft as a warning, "Why would you carry that boat anchor for EDC?" He wasn't joking. I laughed it off, but the words landed. After that, every time I sat, the grip dug into my side. Every trip to the bathroom, I worried the weight would drag my holster down. The guys who actually carried for a living just watched and shook their heads. By the end of the night, the flex felt stupid. I went home sore, embarrassed, and lighter on pride than when I showed up. Next range trip, the Shadow 2 stayed locked in the safe. Last July, I watched an old friend walk into our family reunion with the 43X tucked in his waistband. He'd always preached about how it was the perfect carry. Slim, light, just enough grip to feel secure. That day, he was in shorts and a loose shirt, looking like he finally solved concealed carry for good. It started out fine. Burgers, kids running wild, everybody laughing and trading hugs. But after an hour, I noticed him shifting, pulling at his shirt, never fully at ease. At one point, after a round of back slaps and somebody snapping photos, his aunt spotted the grip printing through the fabric. Loud enough for half the family, she goes, "What's that in your waistband?" The look on his face said it all. He spent the rest of the day camped out in the shade, hands on his sides, barely joining the games. I caught him adjusting the holster more times than I could count. Every time he sat the gun printed harder, sweat soaking right through. He never blamed the 43X, never bad-mouthed Glock, but I didn't see him bring it up after that. Quietly, he swapped back to a chunkier pistol, one that traded a little comfort for peace of mind. Sometimes perfect for carry just isn't perfect for everyone. And if you think sweat and nerves can ruin a day, wait till you see what happens when a so-called full-size upgrade stirs up the wrong kind of attention. I loaded up the Walther PDP full-size one morning, feeling cocky as hell. I just finished cleaning it, slid a fresh mag in, and told myself I was finally carrying like the pros. Didn't matter that every compact in my safe was built for comfort. I wanted the confidence that comes with a full-size grip riding on my belt. Walked out the door almost daring somebody to ask what I was packing. By noon, that swagger turned into a problem. I stopped at a gas station, reached for my wallet, and the PDP's grip snagged on my shirt, exposed enough that a guy at the next pump gave me a second look. Later, hopping in and out of the truck, I felt the grip dig into my ribs, printing hard, no matter how I adjusted my clothes. Every aisle at the hardware store felt like an ambush. I caught myself glancing over my shoulder, convinced someone else could see the outline too. That bravado bled away fast. By the time I got home, I ripped the PDP off my belt as soon as the door shut. No drawn-out reflection, just raw frustration. Muttered, "Never again," under my breath. That gun went right back in the safe. Benched. Full-size reputation or not, I stopped trusting it for carry the minute it made me look like a fool. I should have known better than to trust a Taurus G3C when it mattered. One September night in Texas back in 2023, humidity clinging to my skin, shirt soaked through, nerves on edge, I grabbed the G3C for a quick late-night run to the corner store. Told myself it was the budget hero, the internet's favorite cheap and cheerful carry. That fantasy shattered the second I actually needed speed. The trigger broke, sloppy. Mag release stuck just enough to cost me time. Once, in the worst possible moment, the damn thing jammed and I stood there cursing, sweat dripping. Pulse pounding. Didn't matter if I cleared it. Trust died in that instant. I kept telling myself, it's just the ammo. It's just the Texas heat. It's just a fluke. Pure denial. Friends defended theirs, and some still do. You get what you pay for, but it's good enough. Bullshit. Good enough means dead last when everything goes sideways. That gun made me look like a clown, betting my life on a price tag. I ripped it off my belt and swore never again. The G3C's benched for good, no excuses, no second chances, not for CCW, not ever. Still, if you think trusting a budget gun is reckless, just wait until you see what happens when a tactical upgrade puts your whole day at risk. Strapping on the FN 509 Tactical, I thought I'd finally made it. Threaded barrel, tall sights, optic cut, and controls straight off a SWAT rack. It looked like an instant upgrade. I even caught myself showing it off before heading out, itching for someone to ask about it. Hell, for a second, I felt invincible. But that pride burned off fast. Every time I sat, those oversized controls jabbed my side. The tall sights carved a line into my gut. That threaded barrel, forget about quick draws, my holster always fought me, snagging on the muzzle and making me fumble. Instead of tactical, I felt like I was wrestling a metal octopus every time I moved. Things came to a head at a packed coffee shop. I went to adjust my shirt, the gun snagged hard, and I almost flashed half the place. One old-timer at the counter just shook his head, and that said it all. By the end of the day, the FN 509 Tactical was nothing but a liability. Awkward, obvious, and uncomfortable. All that gearhead swagger vanished the minute it mattered. That gun went right back in the safe where it belongs. But don't think the worst is over. If you think tactical hype stings, wait till you see what happens when the best of the best lets you down. And number 1. A few days after New Year, I took my buddy down to G&G. Both of us still talking about leveling up for the new year, looking to spend real money on something special. The Staccato P sat front and center behind the counter, looking every bit the elite pistol the forums love to hype. High price tag, flashy name, and more than a few folks online swearing it's the top dog for concealed carry. We got a hold of it. Felt like lifting a hunk of steel. Wide slide, big grip, duty built from top to bottom. The shop smelled like gun oil and coffee. But I couldn't miss the way the G&G guy just shook his head. Heavy, wide, made for duty holsters, he said. Sure, some guys try to carry it, but most bring it back after a week. This thing prints like a billboard and wears you down quick. You could see my buddy fighting the urge to pull the trigger on the buy, even with the staff laying out the hard truth. That gun might look like a grail, but for CCW, it's misery. We left empty-handed, heads a little lower. For all the hype, the Staccato P is a heavy regret waiting to happen. And if you think high-dollar heartbreak stings, just wait till you see which old reliable I've got sitting in the bonus spot. I've got a buddy who's always kept a Beretta 92 FS in his nightstand. Old school guy, trusted that pistol for home defense longer than I've owned half my safe. After a break-in happened a few blocks over, he decided it was time to carry the reliable classic everywhere, convinced nothing could go wrong with a legend on his belt. First day out was a circus. Texas heat, light shirt, jeans that didn't stand a chance. That big Beretta pulled his waistband down, printed every time he moved, hammer catching on his shirt. At lunch, he was shifting in his seat, never relaxed, half the time with a hand on his side, trying to cover the grip. Then came the kicker, walking through the parking lot. A guy from work spots the obvious outline and shouts, "Damn, you carrying a brick or just happy to see me?" Heads turned, faces stared, and my buddy froze up. Beet red, totally exposed. That Beretta went straight back to the nightstand before the sunset. He never tried to see to it again. That's the real lesson. Sometimes the classics are perfect right up until they drag you into the kind of regret you can't keep quiet. There's nothing that hits like the regret of trusting a carry gun that just doesn't hold up. I've carried, I've swapped, and I've been burned more than I'll ever admit. But that's what sticks. Every disappointment, every dollar wasted, every night spent second guessing what's on your hip. Now it's your turn. Who else got burned by a trusted pick? Which one of these pistols left you stranded? Or maybe you're still carrying it out of pure stubborn pride. Go ahead, defend your favorite or call out the one that stung the most. I know plenty will argue, but real-world mistakes always speak louder than specs or brand loyalty. The next carry disaster might already be in your safe. I'm Steve. Stay sharp. Don't let the next mistake be yours.